Welcome back to Dinar for Veterans, the channel built specifically for those who served this great nation and had the courage and conviction to invest in the Iraqi dinar. If you are watching this right now, I want you to take a deep breath, because what we are about to cover in the next several minutes represents the moment that every single dinar holder has been waiting for. Whether you have been holding your notes for a decade or just a few months, today marks a historic turning point that will be recorded in financial history for generations to come. Stay with me through every second of this report, because I am going to break down the official Gazette publication out of Baghdad, the banking directives that have already been issued to international institutions, and the exact steps you need to take right now to protect your financial gains. Do not go anywhere. For years on this channel, we have talked about the Iraqi Gazette as the single most important document in the entire dinar investment world. The reason is simple. In Iraq, nothing is legally real, nothing is binding, and nothing is official until it appears in print inside that government publication. Banks do not move. International institutions do not recalibrate. And currency systems do not update until that ink hits the page of the official Gazette. Well, that ink is now dry. The latest edition of the Iraqi Gazette has been officially published and distributed, and the contents of that document are sending genuine shockwaves through the global financial community. This is not speculation. This is not forum chatter. This is the sovereign government of Iraq formally and legally acknowledging the necessity of a structural currency rate adjustment that reflects the nation's massive foreign reserve surplus and its unprecedented economic stability in this post-Reconstruction era. For our veterans community specifically, I want to frame this in terms that honor the journey you have been on. Many of you served in Iraq. Some of you walked those streets, patrolled those cities, and witnessed firsthand the potential of a nation that the world had written off. You came home and you made a financial decision that most people around you could not understand. You held your ground through years of skepticism, ridicule, and mainstream media dismissal. Today, the official Gazette of the Iraqi government is validating every single year of that patience. The published Gazette text is far more comprehensive and detailed than most analysts anticipated. It covers everything from internal government accounting rates to the external global trade valuation framework. According to the printed text, the Central Bank of Iraq has been officially granted full authority to implement a series of rapid adjustments specifically designed to bring the dinar back to a level of international prominence consistent with its historical standing and the nation's current wealth base. This is embedded within a broader economic package that includes the complete digitalization of the Iraqi banking system, which was an absolute prerequisite set by international regulatory monitors and global financial institutions before any major valuation adjustment could legally proceed. The document explicitly notes the formal re-evaluation of the national currency's purchasing power. For those of us who have studied this space for years, that phrase is the direct government language for a significant and undeniable increase in the value of the dinar against the United States dollar. The piece of paper you have stored carefully in your safe is no longer a speculative instrument. The Gazette has formally designated it as a government-backed instrument of real wealth, supported by Iraq's liquid oil wealth and its rapidly expanding gold reserve base, which is now sitting at an all-time historic high of over $150 billion in foreign reserves. What makes this publication so significant beyond the rate itself is the precise legal weight it carries for international trade partners and global institutions. By publishing these rate change protocols in the Gazette, Iraq is formally signaling to the World Trade Organization, the International Monetary Fund, and every major central bank on the planet that it is open for business at a globally standardized level. This is not about making individual investors wealthy overnight in isolation. This is about a sovereign nation reclaiming its full economic independence and ensuring that its citizens can participate in global trade without being penalized by an artificially suppressed currency. The Gazette specifically highlights that this newly enacted monetary policy is structured to permanently eliminate the gap between the official government rate and the parallel black market rate, a gap that has been exploited by illegal currency manipulators for years. We are also receiving verified reports from institutional banking contacts indicating that major electronic trading platforms are already being updated to reflect the new Gazette directives. This is critically important to understand. The structural transition of a major national currency never happens in a vacuum. It requires perfectly synchronized coordination across thousands of secure global banking systems and international clearance networks. The official Gazette entry provides the precise legal framework that allows international technicians to safely update those numbers without fear of legal or regulatory repercussions. Multiple major international banking institutions have already issued internal memos to their specialized currency departments regarding specific handling protocols for the Iraqi dinar, and those communications are happening right now. The global window for physical currency exchange is opening far faster than mainstream skeptics ever predicted. One of the most debated and critical sections of this Gazette officially confirms the long-discussed project to delete the zeros from the national currency. This topic has generated enormous controversy and confusion in the dinar community for over a decade, so let me be very precise about what the document actually states. This is not a simple redenomination that leaves you with the same net purchasing power. The Gazette is clear. This is a comprehensive currency reform that works in direct tandem with an official international rate increase. The instructions delivered to commercial banks involve the introduction of smaller physical denominations for daily domestic transactions. At the same time, the larger legacy notes currently held by international investors will be phased out at the newly established higher international valuation rate. This is the precise economic mechanism that allows Iraq to dramatically increase the international value of its currency while maintaining control of the domestic money supply. If you are holding the large legacy 25,000 or 10,000 dinar notes, the Gazette confirms they remain fully valid legal tender and are the primary vehicles designated for this wealth transfer. The path to the banking institutions is being paved right now, and every veteran and every long-term holder who stayed the course is positioned directly at the front of that road. Many prominent economic analysts who have reviewed the Gazette text believe the balanced appreciation model described within it points toward an exchange rate that will eventually align with values comparable to prosperous neighboring Gulf nations. While the initial movement in value represents the first step, the Gazette outlines a detailed multi-phase plan to ensure the dinar remains strong, stable, and globally dominant for decades to come. For long-term holders, this means the wealth generated by this monetary shift is designed to be entirely sustainable, not a temporary spike that collapses under market pressure. The long-term stability of the Iraqi economy serves as the foundational backbone of this entire operation, and the Gazette confirms that foundation is structurally sound enough to support a high-value currency. The Gazette also formally addresses the Digital Dinar initiative, confirming the introduction of a unified digital currency that will coexist alongside the physical notes. This is a forward-thinking strategic move by the Central Bank of Iraq to align the nation with the global shift towards central bank digital currencies. By pegging the digital dinar directly to the new high-value international rate, Iraq is making it seamless for major international investors to participate in its expanding stock market and booming real estate sector. This will create a powerful secondary wave of global demand that continues pushing the dinar's international value higher even after the initial revaluation phase is complete. The Gazette is essentially describing the birth of a new financial superpower in the Middle East, and you are holding the physical keys to that kingdom right now. Now let us talk directly about what this means for your personal exit strategy, because that is what matters most to this community. The Gazette outlines a specific transitional exchange period, and while I cannot give you an exact date for when your local bank branch will begin processing exchanges at the front counter, the document strongly implies that the operational rollout inside Iraq is immediate, and that the international ripple effect will follow within days. Because of this timeline, there are things you need to do right now. First, get your physical notes out and inspect them immediately. The Gazette specifically notes that severely damaged, torn, or heavily soiled notes may be subjected to a different and more rigorous government verification process that could delay your payout. Make sure your notes are organized by denomination and stored in clean, protected condition. Second, locate your original purchase receipts from your licensed currency dealer. Your local banking institution will require strict Know Your Customer documentation to process large transactions, and having those receipts readily available will make that process significantly smoother. Third, and I cannot stress this enough for our veterans community, consult immediately with a certified financial planner or a licensed tax attorney who specializes in international foreign currency transactions. The reason this third step is so urgent is straightforward. When a national currency undergoes an official revaluation of this scale, the financial gains are treated as taxable capital gains in most major global jurisdictions. Now that this change is officially documented and legally binding, you can no longer characterize the asset value as speculative or uncertain to any tax authority. The Gazette has done its part by legally confirming the value. You must now do your part by building an ironclad wealth protection plan to legally preserve as much of your financial windfall as possible. True financial success is not just about how much you make during the exchange. It is about how much you actually keep and protect for your family long term. The window for advanced planning is closing fast. I also want to take a moment to directly address the issue of security and scam prevention, because this is especially important right now. In the days following a major official announcement like this, sophisticated scammers will absolutely attempt to exploit the excitement of this community. You will see fake websites, unauthorized exchange platforms, forum posts asking you to register your notes, and individuals claiming to be group coordinators or special access representatives. I need you to hear this clearly. The Gazette is explicit on this point. The official currency exchange process will take place exclusively through authorized, licensed global banking channels and the official Central Bank of Iraq network. You do not need a group leader, an internet forum code, or any third-party representative to benefit from this revaluation. Your physical dinar notes are your private property, and their value is now backed by the full faith and wealth of the sovereign Iraqi government. Stick strictly to official banking channels and report any suspicious activity immediately. The Gazette also formally references the international compact with Iraq, confirming that this rate adjustment is part of a series of long-standing structural agreements made with global political leaders to fully integrate Iraq into the modern global economy. This is as much a geopolitical victory as it is an economic one. By raising the international value of the dinar, Iraq is demonstrating to the world that it is a stable, reliable, and responsible partner on the global financial stage. The Gazette confirms that Iraq's strategic foreign currency reserves are more than sufficient to defend the new rate against any speculative market attacks, giving every holder the ultimate assurance that once this rate moves, it is designed to stay there permanently. The Gazette details that all domestic Iraqi banks are now legally required to maintain significantly higher capital reserves to match the newly elevated currency value. This single regulatory shift transforms the Iraqi commercial banking system into one of the most well-capitalized financial networks in the entire region. Foreign international banks will now find it substantially easier to open operational branches in Baghdad and Erbil, bringing global competition and world-class financial services directly into the Iraqi market. This represents a complete overhaul of the financial infrastructure of the country, and it creates the perfect environment for the kind of explosive economic growth that sustains a high-value currency for the long term. One of the most technically brilliant sections of the Gazette involves the formal mention of strategic oil-to-dinar valuation ratios. The document confirms that the newly established currency rate has been calculated based on a conservative oil price estimate. This means that even if global crude oil prices experience downward pressure, the international value of the dinar remains protected. However, if oil prices stay elevated or increase, the central bank retains full legal flexibility to further appreciate the currency. This creates an absolute floor for your investment value, while leaving the upside ceiling completely open. You are holding a physical asset that is literally backed by the most sought-after commodity on Earth. For every veteran watching this channel who endured years of skepticism from people who told you this day would never come, today is your validation. This official Gazette confirmation is the ultimate proof that your patience, your discipline, and your belief in this investment were entirely justified. But far more important than the personal vindication is what this moment represents for your family's financial future. The wealth that can be generated from a currency revaluation of this magnitude is genuinely life-changing across generations. We are talking about the ability to establish family trust funds, fully fund the education of your children and grandchildren, contribute to causes and communities that matter to you, and build a lasting financial legacy worthy of the service you gave this country. I strongly encourage every single member of this community to begin shifting your mindset right now from the excitement of the event itself toward the long-term responsibility of managing significant wealth. Consult your financial professionals. Protect your notes. Use official banking channels exclusively. And remember that the greatest measure of this moment will not be what you cash in, but what you build with what you keep. The Gazette has handed you the legal map to the treasure. Now it is your responsibility to use it wisely, protect it fiercely, and honor it with the same discipline that defined your service. This is Dinar for Veterans, and we will be with you every step of the way through what comes next. Stay locked in, stay focused, and God bless every single one of you.